Hi everyone! So today's video is on this look here, this brown smoky eye look, and it's using the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette. I know everyone's into the new one, but I just got this one, so I decided to make a look on it. If you want to see how I did this, just keep watching. Thanks.
Hi everyone, so we're just going to jump right in. I'm going to start with Clinique Super Balanced Makeup in the shade Nude Beige, and I'm just going to put that on the back of my hand to get started with, since it doesn't come with a pump. It's the only downfall of this foundation, that it doesn't come with a pump. I'm going to use my Real Techniques foundation brush to apply this with. I normally use a beauty blender, but lately I've been really into foundation brushes and trying them out and seeing the difference and which one has better coverage, a beauty blender or a foundation brush. And I'm really feeling this brush because it's synthetic hair, so it soaks up all that extra foundation that I put too much on or something like that. And I really do like that. The Beauty Blender does the same thing, but I find that with a brush, the coverage is a lot better. I do have the Sigma F80. I'm just not that big of a fan of it because I find that I lose a lot of product in the bristles of the brush as opposed to getting on my face. And that's the one thing that really gets me mad about this brush, that I'm losing more product than actually putting on my face. So I find synthetic hair a lot better. I'm just going to blend that all the way down to my neck as well, just to match the rest of my body, because my face and neck are a lot lighter than the rest of my body is. So the foundation might come out dark on camera, but it matches, don't worry. Now I'm going to go in with Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer, and I'm going to use that to highlight and to conceal. And I'm using the shade Fair because it is probably one of the only brands of concealers I find that actually match my skin tone. It might look too light to you guys on camera, but it works very well for me because I haven't really been able to find that many drugstore options of concealers that they're either too dark or way too light. So this one in Fair is one of the best ones that I've found. I'm going to take that under the eyes, on the eyelids, bridge of the nose, chin, and Cupid's bow and forehead just to highlight. And then I'm going to go with a beauty blender sponge, and all I'm going to do is just make sure that I blend everything out really, really, really well, just to make sure that it's not very cakey, and the beauty blender will soak up all that extra concealer, because we can be a little heavy handed with our concealer, and I do find that I really, really love using the beauty blender as opposed to a sponge for concealer, especially, just to really soak all of it up and not leave a streaky finish, or not really, I'm sorry, blend everything out a lot better. I feel a brush won't really blend out the concealer as well as I would want it to. So I'm going to go in and set my highlight and concealer with Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit. And I'm going to be using the shade Vanilla. Vanilla is light enough for me, and I love that powder. It feels so silky and so soft, and I feel like it doesn't leave that heavy powdery feeling on my under eye. And it's one of the reasons I love that powder so much. It's not very heavy on the face, and it looks very beautiful photographed. It doesn't have a flashback like some powders do. So I'm just using that under my eye to set bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow, chin, and forehead. I'm going, as you saw before, I'm going back and forth under my eye just to fill in the creases. Besides using an eye cream, going back and forth with whatever you're using under eye can really help with creasing. So I'm going to go back in with the contour kit and use the shade Fawn to bronze and contour with. Bronzing, contouring, they're not for everyone. I like it because I need some warmth in my face after putting all those really light products on. So all I'm going to do is take that in the hollows of my cheeks and start off with a nice circular motion. And then I'm going to start going up and down in circular motions just to make sure that I get where I want it to be. I do end up going back because fawn is a very light shade in my opinion. After I finish all my makeup, I do lose some of the bronze or the contour, and I end up going back and doing it over again just once, just to make it a lot more visible. On camera, it's coming out very dark, And it really isn't that dark. It's just like a nice little warm of color. So I'm just going over my forehead, my nose, and my jawline just to add some shadows to my face to make my face look a little smaller, you know. And I'm using the Real Techniques multi-purpose brush to do this. I think that's what it's called. Let me see. Yeah, the multitask brush. I do love the Real Techniques line. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's very good products. So now I'm going to go in with the MAC Blush Crazed Imagination. This is from the Rocky Horror Picture Show collection. It was a limited edition item. I'm using my Sigma F50 Duo Fiber to apply this blush. I find that it's extremely buildable. It does come off very light at first, but if you keep building it, it's more pigmented and it is a really beautiful blush. It can also be used as a highlight in my opinion, but it just depends on how you feel you want to apply it. I really love MAC blushes. To me, they're just something that I will spend the money on because I love them. So I'm finally gonna go in with the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette. This is a recent purchase for me and I do recommend it. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Salted Caramel and I'm gonna use that on my Sigma E25 blending brush and I'm gonna pop it in my crease as a transition color. Um, as I was saying before, I did just get this palette and I honestly think it is one of the best purchases I've made. I feel like this is a great palette for someone just getting into makeup or someone that really does love matte shades with a mix of shimmer. I feel like even though there are shimmery shades such as Candied Violet, which is purple, and Strawberry Bonbon, which is pink, there are neutrals in it and it allows it to be very versatile. So I'm just popping more salted caramel in my other eye on my crease with my E25 blending brush. If the mirror is too close and you guys can't see, I'm sorry, but leave that down below and tell me if you can't really see that well. I'm trying to figure out how to apply it with no glasses on. So just tell me if you guys are having a problem seeing. So I'm going to take the shade Semi Sweet and I'm going to put that on the inner corner and on the outer corner of my eye. And I'm going to leave a space in the middle of my lid. And I am going to keep using my Sigma E25. And I'm using the Viramona color switch to clean the brush in between dipping it into different shadows on the palette just to save time. And it's a lot easier to only use one or two brushes for a whole look because you can keep cleaning the shadow off in between. So I'm just going to keep blending and I'm going to darken up my outer V with Semi Sweet as well as my inner corner with my E25. I'm just going to make sure that I make it as pigmented as I want it to be. Um, People could have stopped here. You guys can stop here if you like and just continue on and watch the rest of the look. But I like my eyeshadow to be very pigmented, especially if I don't have any liner like this look. So I want to make sure that the eyeshadows look very, very vibrant and very beautiful. So I'm going to go in and blend everything with a clean E25 brush. And I'm just going to make sure that I blend to my transition color and not above my transition. I don't want to go anywhere over that because then it'll just be too high and I'll look surprised and weird. So I'm just going to blend and make sure everything looks beautiful. As I said, I really love this palette. The shades blend so beautifully and they're easy to blend. They're not very chalky and I love that in a palette. I do think that the Chocolate Bar palette is better than the Naked palettes. I have the Naked 2 and the Naked Basics, and I do love them. But I find that I'm reaching for my Chocolate Bar palette more and more every day. So here I'm just blending the top where my transition is because I really want to make sure it's nice and clean looking. So I'm going to go now with the shade Hot Chocolate and I'm going to apply that in the center of my lid. Now, I don't want to go above my crease with a shimmery shadow because glitter will go everywhere. I realized that as much as I love this palette, the biggest issue is that the glitter or shimmer shades have so much fallout. They're so soft that if you drop your palette, they will probably break in a million pieces. um, it's the one thing that gets me really annoyed with this palette is the fallout, but I can work around that. If you're not used to dealing with that much fallout, I would recommend doing your foundation after your eyes or even wearing a shadow shield to protect your foundation from the mess of glitter and dark brown or bronze or gold shades. So all I'm doing now is blending because I want to make sure that there are no harsh lines from when I applied the hot chocolate shade in the center of my lid. So I'm just going to blend it all out and blend it into my transition to make sure it looks very, very nice and beautiful. So I'm just going to keep blending and blending and blending. Like Jacqueline says, blend like your life depends on it. Just keep blending and blending and blending. So I'm just going to go in now and darken up my outer V and do my transition again. You will find that if you continue to blend like I do, you do lose some of your colors. So it's okay to go back in and deepen everything up or make it a little darker. It's all based on your own preference. I like for things to be very pigmented, as I said before, so I will go back and darken things up if I feel like I've lost them, or if I feel like you can't see my transition anymore. I want to make sure that I buff everything out. So now I'm just taking the shade Milk Chocolate and Salted Caramel, and I'm just going to make sure that I put that on my lower lash line because I don't want there to be a gap in between my eyes. I feel like it looks incomplete if I have no eyeshadow on my lower lash line, especially if I'm not using any liner of any kind, and I'm just going to put mascara and lashes. So I want there to be a very nice smoked out effect, and I feel like putting eyeshadow on the lower lash line and buffing it out makes the smoky look even smokier and more defined. So I'm just deepening up my outer corners now in a V shape. I'm just going to make sure that I blend to my lower lash line now. Just keep on blending, guys. So, with the clean E25. Now I'm going to go in with the shade White Chocolate and a clean, no-name Coastal Scents brush. And all I'm going to do is highlight my brow bone. I do feel like brow bone highlights are optional. For me, a matte white shadow doesn't look that great because it's not very visible. But I feel like when I'm using a darker color on my lids, I should use a white shadow. So I'm going to go in with the Balm's Mary Luminizer. And I'm just going to highlight the high points of my face using a Sigma tapered face brush. This is a larger one. And I'm going to do my cheekbones, the bridge of my nose, Cupid's bow, under my lower lip, and my forehead or above my eyebrows. I do find that this highlight is one of my favorites. I love it. I use it all the time. And I'm one of those people that loves to over highlight. I don't think that that's wrong. I think if that's what you like, that's what you like. And this highlight makes you look like you just went tanning or you've been out in the sun. And that's one of my favorite things about it, that it makes you look so glowy and beautiful. So I'm just going to pop on some mascara now, and I'm going to use the new Maybelline mascara. So the final look, I just popped on some Ardell Dummy Wispy Lashes and some Revlon Clear Lash Glue. I wanted to keep it simple. So if you guys want a video on how to apply lashes, leave that down below. Here's the final look. Lipstick is Stone Liner from MAC and Styled in Sepia. Like, comment, subscribe, and thank you guys for watching.
Make sure. See, look how good.
Oh shit. Hey, I am
I'm
the
gonna
director.
tag you and be like, Snow MLG.
Is that what you call contour? I'm gonna contour my face.
We're done.
That's it?
Oh, yeah.
Woo!